Wow. We went. Wait. Okay. 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 We went live. Oh man, that was that. Ah. Anyways, we are here. We are. Why do I have a? Fuck. No. No. What happened just now? What is the? Ah, this is so sad. But well, um, so I guess I had to. I I don't really need to pop out this, or do I? I do it anyways. Okay, we have this. I'm okay. Let me see. I am speaking not so loudly, right? Ah, wait, wait! I forgot about this. I simply resetted the timer, but I hadn't started. Okay, there it is. After 1 minute, there it is. Amazing. This is quality content, brother. Ah, yeah. Yeah. So we have this, we have that. I don't really know what else I can try to set up. I think not that much more. Well, wait because I need to get closer to the microphone once again, and I don't even know how to do. Okay, it is something like this, or I think the main problem is always that I forget that I speak kind of uh, softly or not so loud, so it ends up being a problem because I have to raise my voice, and because of doing that, or trying to do it in this case, I I forget that yeah, that I am trying to do it basically in this case. But anyways, uh, this we have okay. How much time has okay? I can also try to let me see. Uh, let me let me go crazy or something like that. Uh, okay. Yeah, this is weird. I have two keyboards and I keep using the wrong one. Although I don't really. What the fuck? What? What the fuck? This is now. This is epic. Why did I just learn about this? Because I had to open Reddit. The fuck? It's. This is fucking real. It happened, brother. We are no more at Schedule 3 type of drug. Let's fucking go. What the fuck? What? This is amazing. Hmm. I. I don't know. Anyways, I mean, amazing. After all, that is more than amazing. More than worth it, I guess. I feel like after all, it ends up being rather good to have something so notoriously, how to say it, enticing, beautiful. I don't really know how to say it, but basically that it is. It feels good to have um, something like I don't know. I mean, what a crazy thing! What and literally in the middle of streaming, uh, timing. Wow. But anyways, let me let me go back into what I had to do. Um, so we have this over here. Let me paste it. Uh, Also, wait, I didn't check that. If I am typing, does this thing pick up the sound? I think if I do it, okay, if I do it violently enough, or if I am talking while typing, it will probably be picked up, so I need to be silent if I want to type, or mute myself. It's also the same thing. Um, nice. Okay, we got this. Also, I want to paste. To paste this over here. Flares. This one. Next. So we should be good. Yeah. I can send this. I can also close this. Thank you. Let me also. How much time has gone already? Okay, not that long. Or not that much. The same thing. We have. Okay. Channels. Me, my own channel. Basically. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I am losing it. I'm losing it. I think. I feel like I am. But I will say that I'm probably not losing it. I believe. Okay, we have this. Also, what the fuck do I want? I want something like. Holy sh. It's amazing. Let me see how much. I mean, I've. Okay. If I had to be real, maybe something interesting is to notice that I spend unnecessary time doing things that I really take no benefit from because um, they feel like when you're occupied with something of a lesser type of I wouldn't simply say density, more like um, lesser type of importance, even if it is not that important, you still get to say that you're doing something. So in this case, I feel like saying that I'm doing something makes it kind of uh, plausible for me to hide my actions. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, something like that. Okay, this. So yeah, I think I should be pretty much almost uh, fully done with this, no? Or I am missing something. Probably I'm always missing something, no? Unavoidably, it happens that sometimes we miss stuff. And if it happens like that, we do not be so lost in thoughts. Yes. Uh, like this. Okay, thank you. Very nice. Let me also close this. Very good. Well, with this, yeah. With this, we are done. This is amazing. We are done. But we only need to wait, and I mean, kind of funnily enough, probably if I started in time, the timer itself, I will be starting also in time. But because of my failure to do so, we have to wait 10, no, 1 extra minute. 10 extra minutes. Holy moly. No, please, no more waiting. But yeah, at the, yeah, we did what we had to do, so that is already enough, I guess. But well, um, let me do this. And okay, there it is. I think I should have almost everything with this now also done. But yeah, anyways. The main point is that we have to start, I guess. Like in 3, 2, 1. Wow! 1 second extra. One tiny extra second that I passed by. But yeah, welcome everybody. Here we are. Yet another beautiful occasion for us to find ourselves here after what feels like a whole week. We're back, and this time around with nothing much to really say about any particular thing. So yeah, this will be interesting because I have no clue what we're going to do aside from simply wait for this to for my um, phone to charge. Thing that I mainly need to do so that I can have it later on usable when I do require it. So yeah, that is the main thing over here. But besides that, everything else is kind of a hard thing to really decide on. But anyways, as always, sorry for taking so long. Um, welcome, welcome this time around to our beautiful place, to our beautiful stone home. Even we might call it like that. And yeah, yet another occasion in which we decide to just engage in mental activity, let's call it. And yeah, once again, welcome everybody. Welcome viewers, lookers, pod watchers, every single one. Because it is always a pleasure to come back to here and to keep doing the things that we can do and the things that we can work on. So yeah, pretty much amazing and pretty much also enjoyable to be here. And well, I don't really know. It has been, as I said before, the first thing. It has been, at least on the side of the feelings, almost like a week since the last time I streamed. I don't really know when was it that I did so. If I even did so this whole weekend, I don't even remember that. Uh, I think I did. I hope I did, because it would have been pretty, yeah, pretty necessary for me to not stream when I had the possibility of doing so. But yeah, anyways, the main point is we are here yet after a short Monday and a very very interesting Tuesday. We are now finally into what ends up being a on the clock 13, yeah, 30 of April, and also becoming a little bit what is it, 1st of May. So yeah, here we are. At the very least, we survived. That is the most important one in reality, not at the very least. In reality, the most important thing is that we were capable of powering through yet another week. So it does feel nice to know that we were capable of doing it. I mean, not that it is a notion hard to come up with, but you certainly need sometimes to try and pay attention to what you are doing and what you are acting upon, because it does carry all of its different problems to try and hello Uncle, I I say that, yeah, we're starting hard today, but yeah, I guess I can do it. Not that I guess I know I can do it, but yeah, I that was surprising. Oh man, but well, I I don't know. I think I am not really doing anything, so I can do it right now. Or maybe we can wait a little bit, just in case. But yeah, welcome. Here we are, as I said before, just starting. It has been a pretty short week so far. So the what? The sing the song, sing Gangnam Style, Opa Gangnam Style, whoop. you know, do that, do the thing, man. Do that thing, that one particular thing that is to share the emotion of going through the lyrics. Uh, what the fuck? No, I don't see it as a no response. What? Oh my god! I got I didn't see it. I my bad. I thought it was for real. Yeah, I thought it was for real. The requested. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense that you said it. But I guess I will have to. I don't even know how to. No, I don't even know how to. Let me check. How do I reimburse? What is it? Requests here. Requests. Let me do it. I think there was also another request that I fumbled on you. Another no response, but I don't even remember which one at this point. So yeah. Um, Let me burn potato. Why do I have so few? I don't know why we have so few requests. I think they are slowly getting removed or something like that, I guess. Let me see. No, they aren't. What the fuck? Uh, Margas. Margas not complete. There it is. There it is. Refounded. Now, Dawn. But yeah, basically, as I was saying, here we are. It has been so far a pretty short week and a pretty interesting one. This all yeah, all this time. After all, I finally got myself a new keyboard, something that was very necessary for me to have. I I think it's it reached its points the third consecutive day that I had to open my um, accessibility settings and go into the PC and type with the mouse instead of using a keyboard because the keys stopped working. So that is a very good thing. Now, one problem less to deal with. Another is the reality is it kind of got replaced a little bit with now the notion that I need to learn a new whole array of keys on a very different feeling keyboard. But at least I have a lot of the older experience to do with to deal with this one problem, I guess. So that is enough of a good thing. And well, aside from that, everything else has been really easy. I feel like the reality is um, having having to study for exams and such hasn't been that much of a problem yet. I think so. And it hasn't really been brought up in any other way that we need to take partials or a test and anything of that sort. So I am still having it easy, I feel like. And I am still having kind of a good time with all of this. No, no, Mama, welcome. No, this is what you see there is a lie. a very good lie because like you did, people thinks that this really is a day counter. In reality, it is just the number of streams. It isn't a real day. Uh, but no, man. I mean, if I had to be real, I probably miss like a week, or an entire week or so at some point. I remember in the middle of summer, I think it was, and also when I started going to school, I had to take another break because I was just putting everything into place. So yeah, I miss some quite a lot, I think, and I remember even these last 30 days. I was checking these last 30 days. I had already missed like half of them because I can't do it that much. I can't. I wish I could, but I mean, supposedly other things have a higher level of priority, So I am trying to respect that, and I am trying to not divert myself so much from what ends up being the main goal. In this case, to learn, I guess. I don't know, to get a title, something like that. So yeah, um, I do. I do miss quite a bit of days. But anyways, I welcome mama. And yes, as I was what was I think it was around the lines of yeah. I was saying that although things seem to be going easy, it always is good to remember that they could be going kind of wrong. That is one of the few things that I have been thinking about. After all, I I have a hard time, let's say, uh, appreciating what ends up being the positive things present. And I was, yeah, we can pretty much start with this because I remember I was analyzing this one idea after so much in trying to even find out what really is the reason behind why in so many occasions, at least from my experience, no, I feel like so many things are going in certain ways wrong, when in fact, or when in reality itself, things are going so much better than what I could have ever predicted almost. So it ends up being a rather interesting analysis to perform on, as I said, on oneself, to try and see or to try and comprehend why it is that it it becomes so hard to appreciate what is the enjoyment and what is the realness, let's say, of the different parts and actions that we partake in. So I was trying to consider it, and I was, as always, remembering this whole notion of um, it always will be hard for anybody to put themselves in the shoes of others, and it is hardly a comprehensible notion at this point, at the very least, for me to try and see it as anything else but a reminder that, after all, what ends up happening is we have certain ways of acting and believing things that simply relates to saying or trying to accept certain ideas that, although they might be true, they don't really give us that much of our useful information when it comes to trying to comprehend any of this sort. And yeah, any of these sort of ideas. And when it comes to accepting these facts as what they are, or overvaluing them, we end up simply, in this case, I feel like, by believing that it is an unavoidable condition of the self to be incapable of separating what you are from the capacity that is to be more empathetic, while also uh, taking a different stance when it comes to the actions that you realize It is in those moments that sadly, I think those type of beliefs might as well be frustrating the attempts that we have towards um, achieving, I will say, our real goals. Because in this case, in this whole narrative of trying to be more empathetic, what happens is if you have an excuse that you can always rely on, what ends up simply happening or what ends up being the reality is you will not in any particular or sensible way be capable of avoiding relying on this tool that was given to you as something completely logical if you don't even see it as something that, although, as I said before, although it makes sense, it doesn't really have to be that much influential for you. Because I think I think it's like this. It is true that it is hard for anybody to put themselves on the shoes of others because you need to have a whole practice and you need to have a whole training, let's say, or habit behind realizing such types of actions. No? But at the same time, or because it is of such a condition, the reality is when you are capable of doing it, what you learn from such experiences end up being so much more useful for you and so much more beneficial for you than anything else that you don't get to see the cost of your actions as a loss or as a not fully repaid type of deal, let's say. Um, and I think in this case, if it isn't at this point comprehensible, or if I didn't say it somehow, this whole notion that we certainly get limited by ideas given by others or through others to us and accepting them as such without really testing those preconceptions because they are not really part of what we are or what we really play in this world, let's say, because we take them as such and we overvalue them so much. The sadness is we end up simply limiting the capacity of, in this case, um, empathizing, I guess. And I don't know. I think it has to deal with so many other sides of life itself. It doesn't really happen that you just notice that you're dealing with your own problems while at the same time um, learning that your problems do exist in a reality in which you also have different justifications for them, no? But more like all the different things that do affect what you are and all the different things that do play a role in the reality that you live are not that important if they can be changed, let's say. And for you to be capable to realize that there is a capacity inside of you yourself to change them is to take the first step towards realizing that said realities are not so constraining mm, as you decided to picture them at first. I think so. But if you decided in any other way that this wasn't so and that you yourself had a lesser type of vision of such things, welcome, Klondike. Also, did you? No, you didn't change the color, right? I am going crazy. I guess you didn't change the name color. I welcome anyways. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, I was I don't really know which thing I'm talking about right now, but I started at some point talking about I think it was why do we have so many problems with being empathic? No, no, no. Okay, okay, I remember. I started talking about myself and the different problems that is to mm, notice how many good things I do have, let's say. And after that, I ended up, as an example, talking about the notion that is being empathic. And yeah, my bad. I ended up going right now. I think it is something along the lines of how the human nature is limited by the preconceptions that chain you to believe that things supposedly act in a certain way. That is the actual point in where we are. But all of this started in something completely different. But yeah, uh, yes, yes. Sadly, it happens. I mean, I wish, or not that I wish, I simply say it, and I mean it when I say it, every single day that I stream and I hit end streaming. I have to go to bed. I can't function anymore. If I am streaming, I have to recuperate after streaming myself. It is mentally taxing, but it is enjoyable as it gets also. So I don't mean it as something bad. But yeah, I was so far on after the quick rundown. I guess I I was along the lines of it happens that when you notice that things also don't play that much of a big role of what you are as an individual. You get the capacity to play with what were before the boundaries of your own life. Because in the previous assumptions that you made, you believed that it was necessary for you to not go against so many of those notions that were simply given to you and not that you truly found out. And even if you try to justify your inability to challenge what is in front of you in terms of limitations, and even if you can say that it is true that it might be dangerous, it will be good to start also with some pre-assumptions in the same sense that you had them before, affecting your way in which you interact with the world. As in now, you might already very well know which things you shouldn't in any way whatsoever try to test. I mean, there is a big difference between um, if somebody told you that you are okay, uh, okay, give me a second. I um, I will do it right now because I don't want to lose the idea. Klondike, once again, thank you for being here. It is always a pleasure to have you around, and it is always a nice experience. I am very proud that you have been capable of enjoying it more and more. I throughout time, I I have seen you overcome what was almost a difficulty for you to not talk so much during extremes, and it is now a very good thing to have the pleasure, as I said, of hearing you and hearing what you think and hearing also what is your process. So thank you a lot, and I hope certainly that you can keep enjoying this as much as in my case I do from the other side. There you go, there you go. But yeah, going back, I was, I think, okay, okay. I was along the lines of it does happen that you have to make pre-assumptions on the other end. No, no problem, Klondike. But what is necessary for you to do in such cases is not that you need to believe that things are not in such a way necessarily going to destroy what you are, but rather that you, yeah, this is more like where we ended. You get to already know and to already comprehend by your basic instincts which things shouldn't be challenged because it isn't necessary for you to try and test really if putting yourself in front of a moving train mm, to know that it is probably going to lead to your death. There are certain mm, yeah, there are certain actions that you can pretty much fully know their result even if they are not performed exactly by you. So there are some things that you shouldn't obviously challenge, but this is more from the side of acknowledging that as an individual, we don't have the responsibility of taking so much of what is being said by others and taking so much of what is being mentioned or what is being attributed to us in such a straightforward way when it comes to mm, observing or believing that we possess certain capabilities until we really test and prove to ourselves if it is true or not that we do have all of those things in in alignment with what is being described for us or what is being said about us in a sense of what ends up being necessary is for the individual or the subject to try and always be a, an active mm, I can't think another word, so excuse me, but an active player when it comes to the game of understanding its own role in reality rather than to mm, simply driving yourself around or based on the things that are being given to you by the rest of the world or the society itself, in which this whole um, quote unquote game of life does happen continuously. And yeah, I think that is kind of the idea, no? After all, that is what I had been trying to say. Uh, After some time, I mean, I guess certainly it simply happens that in my case, if I had to be real, the negativity simply comes from a side of one tends to be really accustomed already to what are mm, preconceptions born out of previous results and mm, the capacity of supposedly predicting what is going to happen the next time a very similar or the same type of action is performed in a very similar setting. So I can pretty much understand why would I try to believe that what I am going to do is somehow going to fail or what I am already doing is failing. Although I don't really get to be part of such a process, and I even less don't, in this case, taking what I said before into consideration and applying it for myself, I am not even going for the action itself because I guess it is kind of a normal rationalization, no? That after all, you don't really get to decide which things you are going for or which actions you are truly performing. You simply act upon what you wished was the best or was the easiest thing sometimes. So if you notice that there might be something that will cause a lot of trouble for you, or that will be problematic by itself to deal with, then you discard what ends up being this route in life. Because after all, there is a certain level of discomfort in which we can sit ourselves and we can live by and not get disgusted or terrified of being in. But there is a certain level of discomfort that doesn't even need to be manifested itself into reality, but simply imagined into what might be a possibility for us in which we already know that such things might be in unnecessarily unbearable for us. I think so. But it doesn't simply happen that we are born out of these ideas. It is more along the lines of we okay, I think it happens because mostly we believe we can't really change once again the outcome of those actions, I guess. And it is better to stay negative and do not confront reality itself. Because after all, mm, the amount of things that doesn't simply happen in what is reality itself, but also the different planes of activities that do occur while we are going through those uh, processes gets more and more incremented with more and more repetition. I don't know. I think, yeah, at this point we're once again we're reaching kind of the limit of how much I know in this case. So I can't really try to make sense out of what I lack better understanding about. But something along those lines, I say basically, if it wasn't clear enough, yes, objective is learn that it isn't that much of a necessary thing for us to get ruled by what others say or what we ourselves say about a certain thing, but rather to try and always act upon the possibility that what might happen by itself is a lot more important or might be a lot more important than what we can realize in the moment, let's say. And by doing so in this case, I think if it wasn't also clear, the argument is we might have a better type of or a more free type of life, one in which we can do more things that are based upon our own wishes, because after all, although we might say that we don't really have an interest on doing certain types of things, the reality itself and the different reflections of it show that we possess an incredibly big interest in doing them. If not, we wouldn't have to consistently try to avoid going to these type of actions. I feel so. Eh, yeah, I think that is kind of the first idea so far. I I think I am not missing anything that I can, as I said before, that I yeah, I can speak about. I have what I was trying to say at the end was rather even for me unknown. So yeah, I can't make up so much stuff sometimes. But yeah, let me drink some water. Anyways, and after that, we will move into something different, I guess. Okay, after some, I think we can move into something different, as I said. Um, I I really don't have any excuse, no? I should try to use markers, right? I There it is. Amazing. I finally remember to use markers. This is literally um, once again, I guess, uh, a step towards being better. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, um, I guess it does happen that sometimes it ends up being hard to really pick something in particular. And in my case, I have said it before and I have already discussed it a little bit. I think it ends up being even weird to notice that one might have a little bit of a tendency towards not being so engaged or so capable of noticing. Going back to all, yeah, tying it with the other discussion, it happens that we can't truly, sorry, I can't really put myself in the shoes of other people and see if what I might next go on will be truly interesting. Sadly, in my case, and I think so because I have been pretty much consumed by what is the quote unquote academic environment. So I do have a hard time escaping from those type of topics, and I do have an incredibly hard time finding something else that isn't directly related to what I wanted at some point to mention, to what I mentioned at some point, but I didn't have the capacity of fully fledging, or what I have learned from there, and I can utilize here to keep talking about. So yeah, it does feel rather negative to try and have so much of that, but at the same time, I think it is more of a limitation, born out of simply believing that it wouldn't be good when, yeah, I will say so that if it was to be failing to provide something of intrinsic value, I would have noticed so far instead of having to guess if it is going to be or not. But yeah, that is simply to say, let me go into whatever I want to say right now, because I think I can't come up with something different. So, I was thinking, and I was so far a little bit observing and a little bit into the introspection of what ends up being the analysis of the different academical texts, and books and such. And I was I was rather amazed because you can always notice that there is a certain lack of remarks towards the students to go and read the material by itself and not to simply have the notes and have the resumes and the synthesis taken as the real works themselves. So it was rather interesting not only to sense it as something that always happens, but also to hear it from a teacher itself. Because in this case, it was, I, I guess it felt a little bit weird after all. If you're a teacher, you shouldn't accept so much what ends up being a problem. It is true and it is completely real that something of that um, extent does happen in the educational system. I don't know which word is it, but I, I I kept thinking on it because it has something kind of interesting behind it, and it has something um, at least for me amazing to try and feel, because there is a big, yeah, okay, I think if I had to analyze it, I sense it coming from the same side as when, for example, sometimes say or act upon what I feel is a big problem of mine, and I simply mention in a very rational way what is going on without really trying to work on the problem itself. I am not, even if I believe that I am aware of it, I am not truly capable of mentioning or um, guiding people towards having an interest on such things, or such, in this case, having the capacity of pro- properly putting into words what I feel is a problem, even if, as I said, I feel like it is such, because I am only seeing it as what's the most immediate term of problem, or the most obvious side to the negative consequences or annoying parts of it that will always occur no matter what. And by doing so, what ends up getting lost in the way is the rest of the realizations born out of acknowledging the complete problem to such an extent to which you not only know what is the problem, but also know to which degree the consequences will affect what you are trying to do or what you are trying to go for. And yeah, I I kept going back to it because it was very amusing, as I said, to hear a teacher talk about such a problem when they themselves are not doing anything to solve it, and to not hear even eh, a good take, I guess, onto how to finally kindle that flame of interest that is to go and read something, or to go, not to go and read something, to go and read the proper materials instead of basing yourselves and your whole, in this case, career around a very endeavor part of the creation and part of the work, because after all, what is not simply derivative but rather a shortened version of what you wanted might never really provide you with the completeness of its essence. And it is true that, yeah, there is a problem with such things, but if there is not even a proper reason given to the students, I guess, you can't really believe that it will in any way give you an advantage to go and spend so much more time than hearing somebody um, regurgitate what they believed they understood from such a thing, or what they would mention as their complete understanding of these types of problems, because they can't truly be part of those notions if they themselves don't even get to fully mention or to fully articulate all of the ideas held by the author itself. Think that will probably almost, um, with no exception, happen, because sadly, the reality is, yet the personal views and the personal ideas behind such things will always be tainted by what we as individuals know. So if we did believe, what did believe that what we are going to see will be the complete reality of such a thing, and we even more dared to say that what we understood was a thing useful for anybody to try and understand the same thing, we are only obfuscating what was the message itself, created by the author on one hand, while also on the other, not even allowing people to know which things are truly hidden or uh, non-articulated, I guess, inside of the text itself, or the, yeah, the different original sources, whatever they are. So I guess it ends up being kind of a hard problem to properly solve. In this case, it ends up being a hard problem to solve because, after all, you need to think a lot. And I mean, I have tried already to find a proper reason as to why it is necessary for any student to go back into such a thing as it is to engulf the complete materials and the whole text instead of simply going to the resumes provided with those texts. And I believe that this is once again simply an excuse, but to deal with such a problem, you need to analyze and to have so many different sides understood and to see so many different optics that it ends up being. um, overwhelmingly complicated because you need to know which type of consequences exist behind these things. I mean, uh, it is probably just another type of oversimplification of something to say that you can find a shorter response as to why it would be better to do such a thing. A good argument in this case lies behind the whole analysis of the problem or what is a possible problem. But I don't know, I think it is very well worth the shot in terms of observing why these type of notions do help you in this case at the very least, even if you are not a student in the most traditional sense, as simply somebody who has an interest in taking information, they help you to find an even bigger way of pulling yourself towards the goal that is to acquire those knowledges hidden behind such many original sources. But yeah, I don't know, I don't know. I think it ends up being kind of weird because after all, you you have to somehow notice all of these things without at the same time emburdening yourself with what is the reality of such problems. I feel like so yeah, it is weird. I don't know how to fully say it, but yeah, it's just another one of those things that does have a lot of things to work around, I guess. In this case, I simply say it if it isn't clear enough, because I believe it isn't by itself my place to discuss such a big concept. I mean, you can probably articulate it fully, and you can come up with a proper solution for these things from your viewpoint. But doing so, even more as somebody who isn't directly involved in the educational system, is going to give you so much more work than what will be done in the hands of the one who really is part of such a world itself, I guess. But I don't know. I also, while I was saying that, it came to my mind that it pretty much goes against the idea of you might be capable of saying something interesting, even if you don't believe that it will happen, or you're capable of changing something for the better, even if you don't believe that you have such capacities. I think in this case, it goes from the same space as, yes, as those negative notions, I guess. Because, yeah, I don't know, I think right now I am very much fighting to say, wow, but I might be able to come up with a final solution. No, I don't think so. But at the very least, I might be able to come up with a solution that I feel is uh, sufficing enough for me to not despair anymore in the face of such concepts. I guess I don't know. I I don't know. Sometimes I really don't know what is the possibility of saying something and really having, in this case, any usefulness when it comes to optics or such. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I kind of stand locked myself here. Let me do the one very practical thing that I can always do when I find myself in such a place. That is to drink water once again. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, basically something like that. I don't know. I, I will be real. I'm having a hard time concentrating. I didn't notice that I was tired, and I decided to take upon the challenge of doing something that I might have not been that prepared for. Slash, I did so late as fuck. Why is it already 1 a.m.? What? I thought I started like at 11. Why did I start so late, my man? What is my problem? What a nice potato. I don't know. But yeah, let me. I think my phone after like an hour, it should be charged. Let me check. Yeah, okay. We have enough for at the very least another hour. Um, I have gone mad. No, no. So far, I think not. I think so. And maybe I have. I mean, maybe I was mad from the start. I know I know this, but me or something like that. I don't know. I guess it happens sometimes after how many 300 hours of um, introspection and similar things and similar types of analysis. One does lose the capacity of being so silly, you know? But it might also not be something bad, you know? Okay, you know what? As I said, so we're going to do one tiny change. I need first and foremost to have this set up over here, so we may here. Let me open this Twitch thingy on this place. This is my phone, because if not, I can see it anywhere else. Why do I have it so loud? What is wrong with me? Okay, there it is. I can have this over here. Also, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if something changed or is my PC really not working, because the color of Klondike on my phone is um, green, and here in my PC chat is red. That is why I knew that something was off. Anyways, give me a second, because I will close this and I will open Carita, because I want to try. And I think I can properly expel myself when I can put things into something visual rather than just be talking. Or I mean, I think. Wait, it is also red on the screen. I just saw. Which color is it? I for real don't know. I never paid attention to that one detail. Which color is it? Green? Red? Bright red? On the screen it is bright red. On the PC, on my PC chat, it is um, dark red, almost like a blood red. I don't know which name is it. Um, and on my phone it is like neon green. I if I had to guess, it is probably because it can't fully load the proper components or something like that. I am no engineer in this idea, so yeah, I can't provide you with such a response. But I guess that is kind of the problem, or that is kind of the reason. But anyways, we will wait for Greta to open, and we will now for real try to embark in something, because I can't keep limiting myself and not talking enough, because I have to stop myself from doing so, because I know that, or I mean, I don't know, I feel like there is that is also something interesting. I feel like sometimes if I go too deep into a topic, I will probably lose whoever is trying to understand it, because I myself don't even understand what I am talking about, so it gets incredibly hard to follow when I don't even know where we're going with what I am saying. So yeah, Let me make a new file. Uh, Escrita, yeah. We'll have some. We'll need some time because Escrita, as always, is about to crash. As always. What a weird thing for Greta to not work perfectly. How come so? They will say, and I will respond, as always, because Greta is shit. No, sorry for that. Greta is wonderful. Ah, but yeah, we have this over here. Yeah, once again, Greta is almost crashing. Nice. Ah, man. Well, also the reality is probably my PC is kind of dying. I haven't thinking about it and I haven't cleaned it in the last like 1 year or so, and I don't even have the tools to open it. I need to take it to a PC repair shop, and that is hard and also not cheap, so I can't do it that easily. I wish I could, but I can't. But anyways, let me. Okay, we have Grit over here. Is it capturing? Are you registered as a program, Grita? Can I capture you with OS? Let me see. We should have this over here. No, nice, Grita. Fuck you too. Um, there it is. There we have it. Amazing, beautiful. So I don't know what we can start with, but give me a second so that I can think about something. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I think I have something. I I was pretty recently learning about this whole thing that is what's the name? Health. Yeah. Ah, okay. Having a healthy sleeping schedule and such things and such ideas. And while I was um, learning about this from a very one-sided point of view, that is, you should always try to prioritize the amount of sleep that you get. Um, I was also remembering what I had been on the other side, as always trying to consider or trying to fully explain, at least for myself, because I had a certain problem when it comes to the concept of sleeping, because there is a certain thing with sleeping, and there is a certain notion with sleeping, and that is you have when we talk about sleep, or when let's be real, when I mention sleep and when I try to make these points, I'm focusing on two main things. That is, on one side, having a what, as I said before, what ends up being called a healthy um, sleeping pattern or sleeping schedule, whichever one you want to go with. Pattern schedule. I guess pattern. Yeah, kind of hard to follow from one place to the other. Let me try here. Okay, here it is. Uh, the healthy sleeping pattern in which you by I guess it isn't that hard to explain. The healthy one is obviously where you get the enough amount of sleep so that you can always recuperate yourself, and the one in which you can also, I mean, sleeping is a incredibly complex process. I am not going to explain every single thing that does happen when you sleep. There are like, so far, if I'm not misunderstanding, there are like seven different main principal benefits from sleeping properly. So it does have a lot of interesting questions to it to consider the healthy route as the most beneficial one, because it does seem that you can find on it the biggest type of advantage when it comes to regulation and control of your overall capacities throughout the day, and not only throughout the day itself, but also throughout the extended period of time that is your life, because it impacts your um, performance on so many levels that you will always, if you want to stay alive, let's say, want to prioritize, in this case, the healthy sleeping pattern. Um, so, if I had to resume it in a sentence, it would be something like, yeah, I guess something like enough useful tools, because as I mentioned before, it does give you different ways in which you can stay healthy. I want, yeah, I want, as I said, mention them by themselves, point by point by point, but just to kind of show that I know about them, I I will briefly mention some of those, and that is first and foremost the amount of healthy sleep that you get consolidates better the different knowledges that you have. And not only it happens with the ones that do come from activities related to factual learning, but also from those who are related or that are related to muscle memory and such, also types of understanding about things, because it happens that in a very short description of it, the brain goes through those memories and reassess what happens by reactivating the same zones in an even faster pace, so that it gets, if it happens consistently enough, it gets consolidated into now a practical memory that you hold about those events on one hand. On the other, the amount of useful or practical um, sleeping patterns that you hold, you get to stay in shape the most, because the easiest way in which your I don't remember the proper term. Your whole food regulatory system. I don't remember the name of it. I think it is pretty easy also to know, but I lost that one. The whole system that regulates the amount of food that you require throughout the day, and that also regulates the amount of energy that you should burn throughout the day, gets easily um, disaligned with what is the requirements of your body, and it starts to misfire signals to tell you that you should either eat more or eat less, or to your brain to consume more or less energy than what is really necessary, as well as also obviously the side of, because you are properly rested, you can function at your highest capacity, and by thus, or obviously because of that, you get to not commit so many errors when dealing with anything. But yeah, anyways, big aside from these type of notions, uh, there is also something that needs to happen over here, and that is Okay, there it is. By by having to deal with what is a proper sleeping pattern, you have to abide what are those rules behind now sleeping properly, and that is obviously firstly and foremost by accepting that you are going to partake in what ends up being the usage of a quote unquote proper sleeping pattern. You deal initially with the notion that these sleeping patterns need to be consistently happening throughout your life, and so you need to stay in a certain type of schedule to always be sure that when you are going to rest and when you are supposedly going to wake up will happen throughout the similar times always. So that is already a starting point in which it gets weird. But not only that, because it also refers to the amount of um, rest that you should supposedly be getting. Because if you don't get um, enough amounts of rest, as I said before, different consequences do arise from it. And by making sure that it is also included in the schedule itself, how much you are possibly going to sleep, you get to be safe and sound when it comes to also knowing which sides of this action do take place in the reality itself. That is, why would you need to stick to such a thing? But that is, as I said before, the one side in which you can mention that this whole idea of a proper or a healthy sleeping pattern is minimally beneficial for you because it is so far true. But this is something that doesn't take into consideration what I also learned on a completely different lesson, on a completely different place. That is, ooh, this will be hard to fit. It is. In this case, I don't really need to explain what I put here because it is pretty much a very quote unquote comprehensible concept. That is, when you are in a state of restlessness, it, obviously, just in case it isn't obvious, I am going about the term restlessness as something that does occur when you lack enough sleep, not when something brings you back into reality and forces you to stay sharply in your toes, as one would say, to now pay attention to something that is happening, but rather when you have, in this case, contradicted what was the main knowledge of scheduling things out and it's either that you haven't gone to rest early enough or at an appropriate time, or that you are not running in the supposedly sufficient amounts, yeah, levels of rest that with these both things, you was to somehow, I, if I'm not wrong, just in case, the explanation was something along the lines of when you lose rest, what ends up taking control of your body mostly are the most basic types of instincts that do guide you towards realizing actions. So you have in your mind, in your conscious mind, to deal with the consequence of always trying to take back what was since you were awake, always yours, and not to be so driven by your, in this case, sensations, muscle memories, and pre understood concepts, because there is also a problem with this. That is why it is so common to find kind of nervous when you are in such a state, and that is the unconscious or the subconscious mind is a lot slower on the reaction level compared to the conscious one. Not to the degree to which you can feel like you are going to take minutes to do something or to avoid, let's say, you can fight somebody if you're getting driven around by your subconscious mind. You can still do it, but your reaction speed is going to be, let's say, something very significant in the level of milliseconds, and that is by itself something that you should want to avoid as much as you can, or either you are going to find yourself dealing with the worst type of consequence, that is to not be capable of performing the things that will help you stay alive. So we don't have more than properly good arguments towards not trying in any way whatsoever to avoid being, as I said before, um, rested enough. But at the same time, it happens that when you let this part of you take more control of yourself, what ends up happening is the brain is already tired enough, so sometimes you don't get to only get, let's say, control as if you were a mecha, but rather um, what what happens is you are being or your actions are being dictated by the feelings and the comprehensions of others, and what you believe that you should be doing is instead based around the sensations that your subconscious mind has created, and that you don't really know if they are going to be as useful as the constant active change and restructuration of plans born out of the desire of comprehending anything. So that is another reason as to why you try to have it. Um, but now, back into the topic itself is when you get to connect with such a thing, or when your subconscious mind takes control of your PLAs, as I said before, because your brain is already so tired, it starts to leak and to blend with other things that also take place inside of you. And one of the easiest things to get both sides makes is through the conscious mind and the conscious analysis of things, because you slowly start to see how the subconscious mind is not capable of holding itself back when it comes to influencing what you are wishing to do and what you're aiming to do and what you are trying to do, because its first and foremost objective is always not to simply try to keep you alive, but to do those actions in the most, I don't think it is ensure, it is in the most safe, safe proof way. So those things are once again beneficial for you and useful for your survival. But you can also, if you have something to do with creativity, and if you have something to do with the sides in which you might want to get in contact once again with your subconscious mind, you get to fully access consciously what has for so many time remained, at least to you, let's say, out of control. Because if it isn't always enough, you can't in any way whatsoever um, summon the subconscious mind through different, completely radical methods. This is by itself as easy as it gets and as cheap as it gets, as long as you're obviously once again doing it healthily enough and not going in a 3 day caffeine consumption rage, so just so that you can stay alive or things of that degree of madness. It is just that you, by noticing that there is a capacity inside of you of, as I said before, summoning these skills back into the real world, you now get to, if you wish to, and if you are interested in doing so, summon back what were before called simply the unfinished creations of the creative mind. Because once again, you get to take a hold of one of the main mechanisms that leads you towards conclusions and towards comprehensions in applicable only in your creative field. So it is here when I think we can finally make the distinction of okay, yes, as I said before, or I don't know if I say it at this point or not. It simply happens that there is a benefit in which you can see that losing sleep ends up being good for you, and in which you can now also perceive that these type of things do give you ways towards being capable of enjoying and being capable of having a great time rather than just out of nowhere trying to believe or trying to um, play a role in whatever other type of fiction or understanding you hold about these things. So, yes, this is something that you can see as beneficial and something that can truly be just another tool for, in this case, your creative processes. But, and I think here, while I was writing it, I think I can envision why this is a problem. Um, no, here it is. I think with this, we can pretty much see a quote unquote good justification as to why you may not try to explain this in a good way because it is incredibly easy to lose noticeable portions of your life and obviously your daily life if you stop caring or if you stop paying enough attention to what is your once again slow sufficient sleeping schedule and healthy sleeping schedule, so you can see why it will be not so recommended, although it has its benefits, because that is what I wanted to say before, and that is what I wanted to observe before. There is a benefit. It isn't like losing sleep is in no way good for you. I mean, I will always, now that I have kind of fully understood it, I will always remember what was Thomas Edison's way of working on different things, and that was to stay in a room in which by him having on his hand a pan that is full of um, marbles that are going to drop to the ground if he obviously drops the pan to the ground and slowly falling asleep, you can bring into reality a little bit of these same benefits by waking yourself up exactly in the moment in which these connections start to happen. But what I am mentioning here might as well not simply be a connection, but rather something born out of the consistent interaction between you and the rest of the world, let's say, in a manner in which you get to, by playing against someone, now also decide which things from this person or whatever you want to take for your own benefit. And I don't know. I think something like this makes not so little sense. But I am also, and I can't lie here, I'm struggling incredibly hard to stay awake. So I can't deal this no more. I guess my bad for starting so late. I guess. But yeah, this is kind of the starting point with this one idea. I will see if I can keep creating something associated with this later on, or if this is so far really where we leave it. I guess not. So far, it shouldn't be impossible for me to, at least on the present moment, keep trying to deal with such an idea. It doesn't seem that complicated to see where you might take it from next time. But yeah, kind of too. I don't want to say it in a negative light, but really, I am too tired, and I will anyways at the very least say that tomorrow I will try to be back. I I shouldn't have no problems getting back here. So yeah, I can almost guarantee that it will happen. But I can't stay awake anymore. I am I am I'm rotting something like that. I don't know how to say it. But yeah. Let us, not only me, let us get out of here into a better place, into somebody who is probably going to stay awake, not like me, because yeah, I I guess I didn't expect it that it happened. But oh man, I mean, there was a whole segment in which I closed my eyes and I almost fell asleep. So that is bad. That is a no-no, as they will say. you know? Ah, but yeah. Let me see. We have a lot of people also. What the fuck is going on with my phone? What the fuck? Wait. Yeah, it tends to go out. Amazing. Uh, anyways, certainly there is a lot. Oh my god! There is a lot of people. There is one who I want to raid. Let me see. Just in case. Beta shouldn't be live, right? Beta shouldn't be streaming. Okay, he isn't. Nice. So let me do this. Let me raid it to our beautiful pal is with fun. What is he doing? I didn't even see that. What is he doing? He's playing Ark Knights. Okay. That is what is happening right now. So yeah, um, that is all for today because I am sadly failing from reality. At this point, my brain is telling me no more of this. Time to go to sleep. So yeah, I guess I will have to abide by these rules, sadly. But once again, anyways, besides that, as always, thanks a lot for being here. It was once again a pleasure to do this, and we will see what we will do next time. So far, we developed a little bit of concepts, and we were capable of coming up with some rather interesting ideas. So yeah, thanks. And well, even if we don't get the opportunity of being here, it was still a very nice time and a very enjoyable one. So once again, thanks. And as always, even if it doesn't happen, remember to stay safe, remember to stay nice, remember to stay hopeful, to drink water, to rest properly. And well, we will see what we do, and if we don't, at the very least, we enjoyed what we had right now. But a more immediate matter that is, we're raiding into Ace Windfall, who is playing Ark Knights. So, yes, uh, go there and have a good one. Because here we can say that we are done. No more mental exertion for the rest of the night. So, have a good one. Goodbye, and as always, thanks for everything. It is my pleasure.